a big link between crime and bassline music.
If you touch bassline, the police are very negative.
Gang kind of culture in that scene.
It's taken a hit, the music scene.
Drugs, gangs, and clubs.
It's always been different because it's not like your Leeds or Manchester, a big city. It's got more. Everybody knows each other when they go out in Sheffield. It's got that more like town sort of feel. It's got that more homely feeling to it. My main job is DJing and promoting. I've done it for a number of years now. I originally started off at Gatecrasher DJing, and then since then progressed, run my own nights. Opened Nocturnal nightclub a couple of years ago, and then more recently opened the Fez Club, and I'm just about to open the Electric Box as a bar and club. It's taken a hit, the music scene, over the last couple of years. When Gatecrasher burnt down, that had a big impact. People that were going out to Gatecrasher stopped going out in Sheffield. It's still got all the clubs that a major city would have. It's got as many bars as a major city would have, but because it's got that, it's a smaller city. People go out and it's more friendlier than most. Bassline is the old, what I'd call the old garage music. It used to be, it's where house was probably about 10 years ago. Bassline basically was a fraction that broke off and went down the more underground sort of feel.
I feel like there definitely is a big link between crime and bassline music, mainly because gang kind of culture in that scene, and you do get a lot of trouble between rival gangs. If you ever went into the club, you'd have one group of people on one side of the club and another group of people on the other side of the club, and it kind of was that whole feel to it. As far as I've known, there have been two niche nightclubs. The first one was up on down near this train station. It's a bit of a grimy place. And the second one is up on the roundabout behind Debenhams, and I have been in there before. They're quite dark place inside. You wouldn't say it was like a fancy nightclub. It's more about the vibe, and yeah, you don't really see that sort of stuff anywhere else in the country. But yeah, they're not about anymore. It's a bit of a thing of the past. The stabbings in niche and outside niche were linked with what's going on in the club and the people in the club. I feel like bassline music does breed knife crime and gun crime. In general, like, niche was like linked with a lot of problems and crime, but it was kind of also like a pretty special club. Like, it was famous throughout the country for that particular kind of music. And if you ever went to a night at like the old original niche, you could go to the street there and there'd be cars just parked all over the street. It'd be like a completely crazy carnival kind of vibe. It is something that you wouldn't get anywhere else, and it is a bit of a shame that side of it is gone.
Niche has been a part of Sheffield from as long as I can remember. It's where the music's just, it was a lot about the music and about the people back in the day, and then it's sort of the crowd that has changed a lot, and the crowd started changing towards the end, and it just took on a completely different role. I think a lot of it was in when a couple of tracks charted, and I think that was a big influence because that brought the limelight to the music. I think before that it was more or less underground and it was about the music. As soon as it charted, I think about 3 or 4 tracks hit the charts, and that created a whole new monster in effect for the brand. Empire Bar was one of the it was the first bar that I went to when I was 18, 19. Queues used to be massive. It was just the bar then. More recently, it was open for about 6 months when they had the trouble with Niche. It opened up and the crowd went across there basically, and it took the crowd there. And for about a 6-month period, the crowd in there was not the desired crowd that you'd want, and that reputation for that 3 to 6 month period is what it's been known for. Everybody remembers the bad stuff, they don't remember that for the last 12 years it was a very, very good venue. I think the police involvement, because so many people were coming from out of town, they had to take control of what was coming in. If you touch Bassline, the police are very negative towards even letting you put on a night, no mind open a club. I was in a meeting the other day with the police when I was talking about a niche market, about a specific market, and I can't even use that term niche because the officer's face when I said I'm going for a niche market, it wasn't too happy.
The fact that police are requesting you shouldn't play Bassline in certain clubs on certain nights, it's a bit of a tricky one. Like, no nightclub scene is 100% safe because nightclubs are linked with drugs, but at the same time it does stop a lot of crime and a lot of trouble, and it makes the whole club scene in Sheffield a more reputable and safe place to go out. Obviously there's always going to be a bar that you shouldn't go to or something like that. I would consider Sheffield to be a safe clubbing scene at the moment, for the fact that you don't really hear about a lot of problems with knives or guns, and you haven't done for the past couple of years. The fact that Niche is closed currently is probably a good thing.
I think the number of properties in Sheffield that are closed or up for rent at the moment, especially bars, clubs, it's a lot to do with licensing. Your bars need a 2-3 o'clock licence to survive now because your crowd's going out there, and 12:30, it's just not sustainable. And especially for a club, if your people are staying in bars till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you then need your clubs opening till 6 o'clock so they can get their cut of the pie. The main reason for opening Electric Box is the lack of night to go to in Sheffield for myself and a lot of people that I know. The main aim is in the daytime it's going to be open as a more of a coffee shop type thing, and then in the evening a bar where people can just go relax, decent house music, and then develop into a club as the night goes on. I think Sheffield's music scene, the future of it could be really good. I think it needs to have a lot of people sit down, have a good think about what the score is.
The future of Bassline music in Sheffield at the moment is fairly non-existent, unless it's people like Toddler T maybe dropping Bassline tracks every now and again, or DJs like myself dropping a little bit here and there. But as far as Bassline centered nights go, I wouldn't say there's much of a future at the moment, because it's the clubs don't want it, the police don't want it, and the majority of people that go to clubs don't want to be linked with the trouble that causes.